When discussing the best manga artists, people often tend to gravitate towards the most practically impressive ones, like Kentaro Miura, Takehiko Inoue, and Shinichi Sakamoto. However, in terms of fine artistry for art's sake, I believe Hirohiko Araki surpasses almost all competition. This may, in part, be aided by the fact that Jojo's story isn't always Araki's main priority. For chapter inserts, magazine covers, and exhibition pieces, the characters are often depicted completely outside the canon setting of the Jojo universe. They are instead allowed to flourish as expressive human forms intended to capture the viewer's awe through their beauty and vitality, rather than to illustrate any particular aspect of the story. I'm clearly not the only person who holds such a high opinion of Araki's work, as he has been exhibited in the Louvre and has been praised by artists and critics well outside the world of manga and illustration. The fashion poses and imagery depicted in his artwork are undeniably unique, bold, and beautiful, undoubtedly playing a significant role in the success of his series. But perhaps what's most inspirational about Araki's work is the wild evolutionary journey his artwork has taken from 1984 to 2023. Growing up in Japan, Araki was heavily influenced by the rich cultural heritage and artistic traditions of his homeland. His fascination with traditional Japanese woodblock prints, such as those by Katsushika Hokusai and Utagawa Hiroshige, played a significant role in shaping his artistic sensibilities. The intricate details, vivid colors, and dynamic compositions of these prints left a lasting impression on him. But perhaps even more so, the fashion magazines he picked up throughout his life piqued his interest in runway wear and the features of models. From a young age, he found inspiration in the intricate and dynamic works of renowned manga artists such as Osamu Tezuka, whose pioneering style and renowned storytelling captivated his imagination. Tezuka's iconic creations like Astro Boy and Black Jack left an indelible mark on Hirohiko's artistic sensibilities. Additionally, the innovative and visually striking illustrations of Akira Toriyama, the mastermind behind Dragon Ball, fueled his passion for character design and imaginative world building. Furthermore, Araki's early exposure to classic Western art, particularly the works of Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, left an indelible mark on his creative sensibilities. He was fascinated by the dynamic and anatomically precise compositions of these Renaissance masters, which would later manifest in his distinctly high-detailed character designs. Additionally, Araki drew inspiration from his love of music, citing rock and pop icons like David Bowie and Queen as pivotal influences. These diverse artistic influences converged with his imaginative mind, contributing to the unique and eclectic style that has come to define his iconic manga series, known for its extravagant poses, flamboyant characters, and creative storytelling. The first few parts of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure are very much products of their time, drawing massive inspiration from the 80s action movie boom, with muscular macho stars like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger becoming the basis for his earlier characters. Additionally, Araki took numerous creative cues from the uber-muscular style, eccentric clothing, and bizarre story of the contemporary Fist of the North Star by Tetsuo Hara and Buronson. Araki is a master of gestural anatomy. His figures begin as loose, swift pencil sketches characterized by the focus placed on movement, where each limb, body, segment, and attribute flows and pivots dynamically, making his characters appear lively and expressive in their posture, where Araki will then work into his characters adding muscles, clothing, and other important details, whereas other manga and comic artists will lean towards a far more rigid method of construction, with all the details taking priority over the movement and flow of the subject, making characters seem stiff in comparison to those of Araki. Throughout this video, I will avoid discussing the background art of Araki, since although the backgrounds in Jojo are consistently extremely high quality, ranging from the rough and striking to heavily detailed, they are easily dismissible in comparison to the influence of his character designs and figure drawings. Parts 1 and 2 of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure share a predominantly similar visual style. They are known for their portrayal of muscular characters who occasionally embrace eccentric jewelry and fashion, yet still retain a semblance of the quintessential 80s action hero. The inception of Part 1 introduces a youthful cast with characteristics typical of 70s and 80s manga, featuring soft facial features and large expressive eyes. However, as the story progresses, these characters undergo a remarkable transformation, evolving into massively muscular figures capable of extraordinary displays of strength. As we move further into Part 1 and delve into Part 2, the artistry of Hirohiko Araki matures significantly. While his characters maintain their improbable physiques, their poses become more humanly replicable, and a departure from the exaggerated contortions of early Part 1. Additionally, their facial features sharpen, taking on a more imposing appearance reminiscent of Fist of the North Star's characters. Despite being less prominent than in other parts, early JoJo does include a few female characters. Much like their male counterparts, these women undergo a stylistic evolution. For instance, Arena from Part 1 initially adheres to the typical manga style of the era, featuring rounded and feline facial features. In contrast, later characters like Lisa adopt a more unique and elegant look, grounded in real-life aesthetics rather than traditional manga conventions. It is during the later sections of Part 2 that Araki's style truly sets itself apart from its peers. This is marked by the introduction of his signature geometric, angular jawlines and defined cheekbones, and an increase in the fantastical fashion, as seen in characters like Caesar and the Pillarman. Part 3 offers Araki the opportunity to fully unleash his creative independence. The characters in Part 3 are unmistakably his own, featuring razor-sharp cheekbones and angular jaws, even among the female characters. The musculature of these characters often takes on unusual geometric shapes, with smooth or blocky, almost cubist elements. In Part 3, the standard for size is also elevated, with characters like Jotaro and Daioh towering over their peers, with almost inhuman stature. Fashion in this part also reaches new heights, with the introduction of stands, allowing Araki to experiment with the fantastical character designs unconstrained by reality. Towards the end of Part 3, the level of detail increases significantly, especially in facial features. Even characters like Iggy, a dog, boast supermodel-worthy chins. Araki also becomes more ambitious with full-color spreads, featuring a wide range of poses and intricate compositions that showcase the entire cast in surreal backgrounds filled with symbolic elements. However, these later spreads shift away from the effeminate jewelry and instead emphasize a more menacing and imposing tone. Part 4 serves as a bridge between the classic JoJo art style and Araki's evolving approach. It begins with angular character designs but gradually transitions into more classical art style figures, featuring prominent cheekbones, jawlines, and captivating lips, albeit in more realistic proportions. This shift is evident in characters like Josuke, who initially resembles Part 3's Jotaro, but develops distinct facial features. Part 4 exhibits a strong influence from Renaissance and classical art, with characters supporting fit and elegant physiques, refined Western eyes, and less defined, more realistic chins. While there may be some rough patches in the early parts of this transition, the art truly excels throughout the rest of the part, featuring iconic poses, fashion, and full-color spreads with realistic lighting and intricate depictions of the cast. Part 4 also continues the trend of sudden shifts in color schemes, which remain iconic for their frequency and vividness. Part 5 follows in the footsteps of Part 4, introducing even more effeminate and softly featured characters. These characters take the slim, elegant frames and extravagant runway-style fashion to new heights. While some anatomical quirks remain as Araki adapts to different body types, these are overshadowed by the sheer beauty of the artwork. Araki's passion for fashion magazines shines through, as every spread feels like it could grace the cover of a high-end clothing designer's annual catalog. Part 5 also bridges the gap in Araki's technique for drawing both men and women, making the differences between them more subtle and realistic compared to earlier parts. The beginning of Part 6 may exhibit some lingering anatomical inconsistencies, but these issues are swiftly rectified as the part progresses. Throughout Part 6, Araki becomes increasingly comfortable with his sculptural, slender style. Surreal motifs such as rainbows, flowers, and butterflies are woven into the artwork, and the more prominent female cast allows Araki to masterfully render women. The overall quality of mid to late Part 6 rivals that of Part 7. Part 7 stands out with its imaginative imagery, where characters blend into the background, merge with the world, or strike poses reminiscent of movie posters. Western cinematic influences are strongly felt, with each color spread feeling like it belongs on the poster of a blockbuster film. The constraints of the Wild West setting also allow Araki to really show his character design skills, as characters like Gyro Zeppeli remain recognizable as cowboys without breaking Araki's trend of fantastical fashion. To many, the art of Araki in the 2000s during Part 6 and 7 was his peak, and Jojo characters and art style were completely distinct from the work of any other manga artist, and also reached a new standard of refinement and consistency. With the introduction of Part 8, Araki gradually shifts to a more painterly style, even more reminiscent of classical artwork, where outlines and hatching are even less prominent and mostly replaced by soft color gradients. A seemingly looser approach is also taken to his figures here, where flawless anatomy is traded for more expressive posing and vivid composition. The accuracy of lighting and shading used in these parts creates an almost photoreal look, even more reminiscent of the old master paintings Araki loves. Notably, Part 8 also sticks more faithfully to a color palette of neon pink, while frequently changing the colors of the characters within the pink compositions. As we've explored the evolution of Araki's art from the early parts of Jojo to the more recent installments, we've witnessed a remarkable transformation. Each phase has its own unique charm and artistic merit, with Araki fearlessly embracing new styles and techniques, from the muscular machoism of Part 1 and Part 2, to the refined elegance of Part 4 and 5, and finally to the painterly, almost classical style of Part 8. Araki's journey has been a testament to artistic growth and adaptability. And indeed, although Part 9 is still in its early days, it doesn't seem to show any degree of decline in Araki's talent and vision. In the world of manga, Hirohiko Araki's contributions go beyond storytelling. They are a celebration of artistry for art's sake. His ability to transcend the confines of his medium, drawing from diverse influences and constantly evolving his style, cements his legacy as an artist of unparalleled creativity and vision.